We'll just consider federal, state, and local governments' reaction to the so-called COVID-19 pandemic. Executive ordinances have led to the closure of religious institutions. Even more, other declarations have been issued that absolutely frame the behavior of the people. For example, social distancing ordinances that have us less engaged with each other. The governor of the state of Washington, Inslee, has gone as far as to decree that those residents refusing COVID-19 testing will not be permitted to enter grocery stores to purchase necessities. This was in his recent press briefing or press conference. Well, this appears for many to be a step before potentially requiring mandatory vaccination once the vaccines are available. And we have learned thus far that the vaccines at the forefront of being approved, particularly the one by GlaxoSmithKline, were produced in insect cells and contain squalene or squalene, which is known to cause autoimmune diseases. Well, whether these government impositions are legal or unconstitutional is a moot point. The reality is that people are shepherded according to the decrees of just a few people, in this case, governors. So in the unraveling of the United States, we are uncovering the severe bankruptcy of morality under so-called noble initiatives. So the Holy Quran closes with 2 chapters of refuge, or the last 2 chapters are known as the chapters of refuge. It states in Surah 113 the following: Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn from the evil of that which he has created, and from the evil of intense darkness when it comes, and from the evil of those who cast evil suggestions and firm resolutions, and from the evil of the envier when he envies. Well, what does it mean by casting suggestions or evil suggestions and firm resolutions? It means that evil intentions are wrapped by so-called sensible resolutions. It's like pigs in a blanket, which I guess is a hot dog wrapped in some kind of bread. As such, the common people must have mechanisms that afford them protection and self-determination, even while attempting to comply to the impositions of the few who hold sway over their lives. Now, what do we mean? Well, let's consider this. As the number of confirmed coronavirus cases explodes across Africa, the creeping involvement of the World Health Organization has made some leaders suspicious of the NGO, meaning non-governmental organization. Tanzanian President John Magufuli was growing suspicious of the organization. So he reportedly decided to investigate whether the organization was as trustworthy and reliable as it claimed to be. He played what the local press described as a trick on the organization. He sent the World Health Organization examples of a goat, a papaya, and a quail for testing. All 3 examples reportedly tested positive, that is for the coronavirus, COVID-19. When the president heard the news, he reportedly confronted the World Health Organization, then kicked the organization out of the country. Though to be sure, the World Health Organization has yet to comment on the situation. Well, this lie is epic because it significantly affects the quality of life in Tanzania by bringing the people of that nation under more severe social and economic limitations and impositions. So this is wicked. For decades, the World Health Organization have been accused of causing disease pandemics through its vaccination programs. This is well known. Yet the organization still exists, still lying and tricking people to cause mass murder and pain among those who are already suffering under mass murder and pain. Well, how does the World Health Organization's criminal intent relate to the mandatory testing being imposed on residents of the state of Washington, with other state governments soon to follow? That's a question. Well, what I understand based on President Trump's recent briefing on mass COVID-19 testing is that first people must pay to get the test kit. It's a home test kit, which costs about $120. This equates to billions of dollars in revenue for the few who are at the helm. Secondly, the swab is sent to a location after it's tested or after you perform the test. The swab is sent to a location where the results are derived. You don't determine that in your home. There's no way of you knowing and testing whatever substance comes from your nose to determine if you are infected by the virus that caused COVID-19. Well, this process assumes that the test kits are accurate, or else you wouldn't be distributing them by the millions. So it's reasonable to believe that government officials will stand by the results of the tests. Well, we have no reason, none at all, to believe that this whole COVID-19 testing initiative, which includes contact tracing, is not tainted by wicked self-interest of government and financial leaders at every level, federal, state, and municipal. Why is that? Well, this has been and is the American way, especially as it relates to how Black, brown, and poor people have been mistreated to enrich the already rich. Those who determine or decide what the test results are, what these results are, they establish the premise for the government's actions against those claimed to be infected. So why should we trust any testing facility approved by any government? Not too long ago, I had a debate with some physicians over vaccination. At that time, it was dealing with the swine flu. And to one physician, I reminded this person that you do the tests like you do for all the other tests in your community. Then those tests are sent somewhere else. You don't derive the results of the tests you administer to the people in your communities. So somebody else can determine if that person is infected or not. And if it's expedient for them to be infected, then that's what the results will be, positive. Although that may not necessarily be the case. Therefore, it is prudent for so-called urban communities being tested to have watchmen and watchwomen who can verify the process and the results of the test, or else governments cannot impose massive COVID-19 testing on the populace. We don't trust you, and you have earned our distrust. So either we have somebody that can verify your results, or damn it, you are not going to impose that on us. Who the hell do you think you are? Your legacy is abuse and misuse of people. Now, from your office, you can strike some daggone decree and have people falling under it. I'll be goddamned. That will happen. Now, later, as this message goes on, you'll see why, so you can come to your senses and get off your Pharaoh high horse. Because God will knock you off that damn horse even before the people can get to your raggedy backside.